We'll start by looking at manifestation and why you want to manifest anything. So if you ask yourself, why do you want to manifest anything? What comes up? Why do you want to manifest something different or something new? Why is it that you want to do that? And just think about it for a moment and ask yourself, well, why do I want to? If there's something specific that you have in mind, or if there's nothing specific, if you're just wondering, well, why am I here? So, why is it that you want to manifest anything or something in particular? And think about that for a minute. So you don't have to think too long. It can be the first thing that comes to mind, and it can be something very simple. And when I was thinking about this, the reason why I feel that we want to manifest things is because we want things to be different. We want things to be better than they currently are. So, really, it's asking ourselves, well, why do we want things to be different? Why do we want things to be better? And the first step is acceptance. So, accepting how things are right now, and also being aware that you have created everything that you're experiencing, everything in your life that you're experiencing up to now. And even if you haven't created it consciously, you have created it in some way unconsciously. And you can also create something different if you desire to. But the reason why we create is because of the joy of creation. I'll talk about this a little bit later on, but not because we want things to be different. And if we're starting from that point that we want things to be different, then we're kind of starting off on the back foot. So if you think about it, your mind, your energy, your thoughts, your emotions, it's like a radio transmitter, and you're constantly sending out signals in some form, sending out thought signals, sending out energy signals. And you create a life of joy and plenty and happiness by sending out signals of joy and plenty and happiness. And you create a life of struggle and lack by sending out signals of struggle and lack. And that's really it. It's a matter of choosing what signals that you want to send out, and then you get to choose your life. So it is that simple, but it's also that difficult because we find it hard to choose what we want to think about or what we want to feel. And instead, we find ourselves just focusing on all of the things that we don't want, all of the problems, all of the things that we have to solve. And we think that if we focus on the problems and we put energy into the problems, then we'll come to a solution. And the reason why we think that way is because this is what we've been taught through school, through parents finding solutions to problems and fixing what is broken. But that's not really how things work. And because we don't realize our power, because we don't realize that we're constantly sending out these signals, we don't realize what's going on. So we've kind of forgotten the fundamentals of how things work. And you may have read, books like The Secret or Law of Attraction books, or things that will tell you, like attracts like, but there's oftentimes a lot of parts that are missing to those books that really don't leave you with any satisfaction when you've read them. You kind of may have a little bit of enthusiasm for a while, but there might be just something missing or something lacking that you're thinking, no, there has to be something else. So the reason why this is called manifest from oneness is because manifesting from oneness is much a much clearer way to manifest than if you're manifesting from ego desires or a place of wanting or a place of lack. So we're going to go through this as we go, but rather than responding to the world about us and reacting to everything that's happening and letting the events determine our lives, we're going to choose to create consciously rather than react and respond to what's happening. And we have become caught up in this world where we think that we exist within these limitations and boundaries and impossibilities and lack. And we really have to undo all of that all of those false beliefs and remember who we truly are. We've forgotten that our true nature is formless awareness. And this is the consciousness that exists behind our eyes. This is the awareness that is looking out through your eyes. This is the real you. So we're going to be rediscovering that. And the pure spirit that is experiencing everything through your physical form, through your body, is unlimited. It's all powerful, and it really will um, bring to you whatever it is that you desire, as long as that's coming from a place of purity and it's for your highest interest. And you can create things that are not for your highest interest, which is what I was talking about from the ego space. But we don't want that. We want to create things that are for our highest and best good. And when we start to realize that that power is within us, that power is looking out through our eyes. As Rumi said, I am not this hair, I'm not this skin, I am the soul that lives within. And we begin to realize we are that formless awareness, we are that intelligence, and we're not the limited beings that we once thought we were. We'll begin to step into our creative power. So you are one with the only intelligence that there is. And being one with this intelligence, all power, all understanding are yours to draw on. You can draw on this infinite intelligence, this infinite love to allow yourself to live a magnificent life. And that's what we're here to do. That's the joy of creation. So the bind is the false perception of yourself as a limited human being. And to undo the bind, we're going to use faith and we're going to use intuition. And through these classes, through this course, we will begin to undo that bind. It's like unraveling, pulling on a thread and letting it all unravel. Oneness is a state of being one with everything. And from this state, you are whole, you are complete. So there's nothing to create or attain. As I said, you are everything. So there's only choice. When you know that you are all powerful, when you know that everything is available to you, you get to choose. You get to choose what you wish to experience, and you get to choose from the smorgasbord of everything that you are. You get to um, pick and choose what you want and how you want to experience life. So there is no lack. Everything is right here, right now. And we'll explore this more as we go along. But if you're thinking, well, everything is right here, but I'm not seeing the evidence of it, we'll come to that. We'll look at that and we will break down that belief. But for now, think about the air that you breathe. The air that you breathe is invisible. It is, has no substance really to it. But you never question where your next breath will come from because it's always available to you. So I want that to be what you come away from this with, that knowingness, that conviction that your next breath is always there. It's always available to you. Your next joyful creation is there for you, and there's no effort involved. So if you come from that place of knowing that everything is available, then there's no wanting, there's no needing, there's no longing as such. It's all just for fun. It's all just for the joy of it. And if you find that you're beginning to create from a place of urgency or of lack, or that you're feeling a little bit of struggle coming in, then you know you're creating from an ego space. And the ego is never satisfied. It always wants more. It always, once the thing is attained, there's something new that it wants. So creating anything from this space will never result in happiness or satisfaction. So if you're creating from the space of lightness, of ease, of fun, of joy, you're creating from oneness. And you start off from a place of wholeness and you create and receive from a place of wholeness. So there's no lack, there's only joyful creation. And that's what we're aiming for.